What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 4, Episode 14, Never Say I Regret, Always Say I Learned. Let's get into Jen and Rishi. So Jen and her friends are talking about what happened at Rishi's house and how all of that went. Now, the consensus among the women is that everything went well. The family reacted a whole lot better than what they expected. And little do they know that the reason why the family reacted in a somewhat positive way to Rishi and Jen being engaged is because, number one, they were just being polite. They weren't going to cause a scene or start an argument with this Western woman in the middle of their living room, and they don't really fully know what's going on because this information has just been dropped on their laps and they haven't had time to process it yet. So they're not going to sit there and argue with Rishi or argue with Jen about them getting married or being engaged. So they were just being polite and nodding their head and saying yes to everything. Number two, at this particular point, when Jen and Rishi announced their engagement, or when Randy announced Jen and Rishi's engagement, the family didn't know exactly how old Jen was. And so they really couldn't say much or cause any kind of ruckus yet because they didn't know exactly how old Jen was. And so the fact that these three women are sitting over chai the next morning and reveling in, oh, the meeting went well and the family reacted it's based on half information. They don't really understand that the family doesn't know the full and complete story. So they're happy with how things transpired. Now, Jen is contemplating how she and Rishi are going to avoid the whole joint family living situation because Jen is absolutely opposed to living with Rishi's family. And her friends tell her that as wonderful and gracious and beautiful as Rishi's family is, and how what did they say, how cute their home was, they don't really see Jen as the caretaker type. They don't really see her, getting up every morning, making everybody breakfast, cooking and cleaning and doing all the grocery shopping and all of that. They're like, girl, we love you, but we know that's just not who you are. So Jen is trying to figure out, how am I going to convince Rishi that we should not be living with his family? Little does she know that they're not even going to get that far. Okay, they're not even going to get that far to the point of deciding where to live because they may not even get married. So Jen thinks that the biggest problem is the joint living situation, and then Rishi comes over and he tells her the real deal Holyfield of what they're actually facing. So Jen brings up the joint family living situation, and she tells Rishi, I don't want to do it. Rishi's like, okay, girl, don't worry about that. We don't have to live with my family. We can live nearby, because maybe Rishi is thinking that he can split his time between his parents' home or his mother's home with his uncle and Jen's home, that he can split his time between the two, still be there to take care of his family and still be there to culminate a marriage with Jen. So he's letting her know, girl, don't worry about that. We got bigger things to worry about. So he finally tells her that, when my family found out how old you were, they were opposed to us getting married. And so Jen is shocked about this. And so Jen is like, okay, so they literally just said no to us getting married. And Rishi's like, yeah, they said no. They don't want us to get married. So Jen says that Rishi should have done his research on who he can and cannot marry before he proposed to her. But girl, are you dense, Jen? What's going on? Rishi knows this. Rishi has always known. This is his culture. This is the only culture he's ever known. Of course he knows that his family wanted him to marry a younger woman, a woman of childbearing age. Rishi knows this. Okay, but when he saw you and when y'all met for the first time, he wanted what he wanted, and he was trying to get you and appease his family at the same damn time, not thinking far enough ahead that at some point, these two worlds were going to collide, and he was going to have to pick, one or the other. So Rishi had promised her that he would always choose her over his family. He had told her this in the past. He's not saying this now, but he had told her this in the past. And when it came down to it, he would always choose Jen. Now Rishi is saying that when he said that to her, he didn't mean it literally. He just meant that he would make an effort. He would make an effort to see if he can choose Jen over his family. But now he's realizing that he cannot. He's realizing now that he wants to choose his family, but he also wants to somehow keep Jen in his life. And I don't know how he's going to do this. So the bottom line is that he doesn't know what he's going to do. That's the bottom line. Rishi tells her, I just need some time. And whenever Jen hears him say, I need time, it's a trigger for her. Okay. It really gets her blood boiling because she's like, we've been doing this for 3 years, Rishi. How much more time do you need for us to start our life together? For you to make a decision and stick with it and move forward one way or the other. Make a decision. I can't give you any more time. So Jen tells him that they can't be together. She's in essence, she was breaking up with him. We can't be together. We can't do this. I can't do this with you. And it's very painful for both of them because obviously they have, very strong feelings for one another. And now they're breaking up and it's hard for both of them. But Rishi, this is all your fault. This is all your damn fault because you know how your family is. You know what your family will and will not accept. And you still decided to roll the dice. I don't know why, because you knew that your family wasn't going to change their mind. So here we go. Now, this is my bottom line. Okay. I don't care if Rishi is going to be doing the whole submit thing where he's constantly running back and forth between Jen and his family to try to convince both sides to accept the other. I don't care if he spends the rest of his life doing that. I don't care if Jen is going to wait for the rest of her life to be with Rishi and make something happen with Rishi and give him all the time in the world for him to convince his family to accept her, or for his family, for her to accept his family, or I don't know what. Or for her to, I don't know, because time is moving forward. Her body is progressing forward. Her body is not regressing back to peak fertility. So I don't know what they're going to do about this. I have no idea how they're going to try to convince it. I really don't know. And I really don't care. The one thing that I do know for sure, I don't want to see this on my TV. I don't want to see this on my TV. I enjoy watching 90 Day Fiancé. I'm enjoying it less and less as time goes on because it's all about the shenanigans. It's not really about two people from two different cultures trying to make it work anymore. It's not even about that anymore. So Rishi and Jen, do whatever the hell y'all want to do, but don't do it on my TV. I don't want to see it. TLC gods, TLC executives, whoever's in charge, please do not bring back Jen and Rishi if they are still trying to decide what to do with their damn future. Because I really don't care. I cannot have another repeat of Sumit and Jenny. Now, Sumit and Jenny, I don't know what the hell's going on with them. I'm not searching for them on the internet, but I'm assuming things are going well, where he probably sees certain members of his family. Because I know that mom don't want nothing to do with Sumit, but I'm pretty sure maybe he's spending time with his brother and his sister-in-law. He might be seeing his dad. I have no idea. And then he runs back across town to go spend time with Jenny. I don't want to see, Godspeed, good luck to them, but I don't want to see a repeat of them in this couple. I don't want to see it. So Jen, Rishi, figure it out, but figure it out far away from my TV. Moving on to Gabe and Isabelle. So as Gabe is getting ready for the wedding, he gets a text from his sister Monica saying that she will not be coming to the wedding. Because even though when Monica and Isabelle initially met, the meeting went well as it could possibly go. But I still felt like Monica was very icy towards Isabelle, even after Isabelle explained to Monica that we all love Gabe here in Colombia. It's not just me, it's my whole entire family. He has an entire family behind him here in Colombia that love him and support him and accept him for who he is. So even after Isabelle said all of that, I still felt like Monica was not warming up to Isabelle. I'm not exactly sure what Monica's issue is with her brother moving on and getting married. It doesn't matter who the hell your brother wants to be with. The heart wants what the heart wants. Gabe wants who he wants. Whether it's Monica approved or not, he's going to choose whoever the hell he wants. So Monica, I'm going to need you to lessen the reins on your damn brother. Allow him to fly free and do whatever the hell he wants to do. And you just be a good sister and support and love him. And if you can't do that, Monica, then I don't know what to tell you. But as well as that first initial meeting went between Monica and Isabel, the night before, Gabe and Monica, and I guess Monica's boyfriend, were all out and they were waiting for Isabel to join them. According to Gabe, Isabel was running around doing some last minute things for the wedding, and so she ended up being extremely late. And she texted Gabe and said, "I'm on my way. I'll be there in 15 minutes or something." Monica decided she couldn't wait any longer, so she left. So this had really hurt Gabe that his sister wasn't willing to wait for Isabel. So they got into an argument. Him and his sister got into an argument. And what was the argument about? Gabe ended up telling Monica that, the real problem in his life are not the women that he chooses, but her. So that pissed her off. She said she's not coming to the wedding. And Gabe was trying to act like he don't care, but he really does. He's extremely hurt. The mother tells Gabe, forget about that, Monica, and you need to get ready because today's your wedding day. You don't have a lot of time. You need to hop on it. We need to get out of here. So on the other side, we see Isabel. Her parents are extremely happy for her. She has a conversation with her father. Her father is very supportive of this whole entire situation, of his daughter marrying Gabe. The father is down with it. The mother is down with it. In fact, the mother stayed up all night sewing bridesmaids' dresses for them to be ready for this wedding. So on her side, things are going as they should be. Everybody's getting ready for this wedding. She's expecting Gabe to show up to help her with the last minute preparations, but Gabe is nowhere to be seen. And so she's asking around. She's freaking out. Where's Gabe? Where's Gabe? And he's not there. He's running late. Now, when their scene ended, we see Gabe laying in bed. Not dressed. I think he was still in his pajamas. Not dressed. He's face down in his bed crying over his sister. I have a very strong feeling that at the wedding, everybody's going to be there. Gabe is going to show up. Monica's going to show up. They're all going to be there. This is just, how it is with these reality TV shows. They create a lot of suspense and drama, making you think that everything is going to fall apart. But I'm pretty sure everybody will be there. Moving on to Osama and Debbie. So Osama is meeting with his sister Asma, and Osama tells Asma what happened between him and Debbie when they were out on the countryside painting, and how Debbie kept on pressuring him to talk about their future, talk about their plans, and he just wanted to paint. And so he ended up saying some things that he regrets saying. He called her crazy. I don't know if he told his sister that he demanded Debbie take him to the United States. I think he left that part out. The only thing I think that he told his sister was that he regrets calling her crazy. And so then they talk about the plan of him and Debbie, the plans for him and Debbie. And the sister was like, well, I'm pretty sure, you were really surprised to find out that Debbie actually wants to live in Morocco and doesn't want to go to the United States. And it's odd for me to hear this because ever since we met Debbie and Osama, my understanding was Debbie was going to be living in Morocco with Osama. But the sister was like, I guess as far as the family is concerned, the plan was for them to go to the United States. So he talks about how, I forgot to mention this. He talks about how when he's angry, he practically blacks out. He says things that he's not aware that he's even saying these things. And it's he goes through this temporary insanity moment when he gets really, really angry. And I mean, it's just the strangest thing. Anyways, so Osama now wants to make it up to Debbie. He wants to apologize. He's like, I don't care where we live. I just want to be with Debbie. And we can no longer trust Osama because he's lied to us before. Because obviously he bamboozled Debbie into believing that she was going. There's no way that this woman would have packed up her whole entire life, gotten on a plane with all of that damn luggage, if her ultimate plan was to just come right back to the United States. There's just no way that she would have packed all that stuff. She packed as if she was leaving America to start a new life in Morocco. So I don't know what the hell Osama's talking about. You're going to have to show us the receipts, Osama. You need to show us the threads, the text threads of you and Debbie talking about living in America and her bringing you back to America and helping you get a visa. You're going to have to show us something, because otherwise we think you're a big fat liar, with this idea that the whole plan was for y'all to return to the United States and not live in Morocco. So he contacts Debbie. He wants to meet up with her, and lucky for him, she agrees. So they meet at this cafe, and before Osama shows up, Debbie tells us that Osama has these moments of anger where he becomes a different person, and then he comes crawling back with apologies. So once again, she's talking about how he's got this intense anger where he completely changes personalities. He becomes a completely different person. That alone should be enough for her to want to pack her bags and go back to the United States. Even if Osama was on board with them living in Morocco and getting their own apartment in Rabat and, starting this new life with Debbie in Morocco, even if he was 100% in agreement with that, the fact that he's got this anger issue where he completely becomes a different person, like he blacks out and he says the most awful things, and then after that, after his head is clear and he comes back down to earth, he's all apologetic. That alone should be enough for her to leave, because you don't want to live with someone like that. Because if they black out like that, if they get so intensely angry that they're not even aware of what they're saying, they may not even be aware of what they would be doing. And he might put them hands on you, Debbie. So I'm going to need you, just for that alone, I'm glad that you're going back to the United States. So Osama shows up to the cafe where they're supposed to be meeting. And Osama says that when he gets angry like that, Debbie should not take him seriously. Because we all get angry. What? No, sir. No. No. Your type of anger is something that I've never seen before. Everybody gets angry, but I don't think everybody kind of like blacks out like that. When you're angry and when you're really in an intense argument, yes, you're going to say things that are going to be regrettable. And yes, you're going to say some very, y'all are fighting. Y'all going to be throwing words at each other, cussing each other. Okay, fine, whatever. But what we witnessed on camera when y'all were sitting at the countryside painting, and then you looked at her and you told her that this is what the plan is. You're going to get me a visa and you're going to take me back to the United States. And if you don't like it, then we can end this right here. That was scary as hell. Because you were talking about things that we never even heard of. That was scary, Osama. And that wasn't normal. And especially because it wasn't even really like an argument. Debbie was just asking a legit question of what is the plan, because she heard the family talk about them going back to America. So she just wanted to be sure that her and her man were on the same page. There was nothing wrong with her asking that. And the fact that you got so defensive about her asking that and you turned into this monster, unexcusable. I don't know what's wrong with you, Osama, but you need to get that checked out by someone who has a whole bunch of initials after their name and who has a whole bunch of degrees on their wall. That's what you need to do. So they're not on the same page as far as what the ultimate plan was. So he's accusing her of changing and she's accusing him of changing. He says, we've always talked about going back to America. And Deborah says, yes, for visits, for me to go visit my children, not for us to go live. The plan was to live in Morocco. And he disagrees with that. So they're never seeing eye to eye on that at all. So Osama insists that their plan was to live in the United States. Osama tells us that Debbie is changing and that the more she changes, the less he loves her. Debbie says that Osama played her and tried to play her for a visa. So he did play with her affections. He did play with her heart. And then he tried to play her into getting him a visa. But thank God, Debbie woke up. Thank the Lord above. Debbie woke the hell up. And she was like, you know what? I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Ain't no way I'm going to stay here with this man and try to make anything work. So the next time that we see Debbie, she is packing up her bags. She's at her hotel. She's packing up her suitcase, and she's had enough of Morocco, and she for sure has had enough of Osama. So we see her getting ready to get on that damn plane, and she's out of there. She talks about how Osama presented himself one way, but was actually somebody completely different. He was not the same Osama that she had been communicating with over the past 3 years. Debbie says that she promises that she will never, ever, ever talk to Osama again. Finally, somebody on this show with some damn sense. Somebody on this show with some damn sense. Now, Debbie may have made the dumbest decision by hooking up with this guy and moving to Morocco, but she came up with the smartest solution and she got the hell out of there. Moving on to Jamie and Chris. So Chris has finally, almost half a year later, she has returned to Colombia. So she comes back and she wants to know if her and Jamie can work it out. To tell you the truth, I think that Chris came back to break up with Jamie. I don't think she came back to work a damn thing out. I think she came back to break up with her face to face. So Chris says that she doesn't want to give up on her marriage. That's a whole lot of bullcrap. Chris and Jamie, they're really excited to see each other. Jamie does have doubts. She did have doubts about Chris coming back to Colombia. And when they reunited and when they kissed, it felt very different. Chris actually says that it felt like kissing a stranger. So when she said that, I knew that it was over. I knew that it was over. If you truly, truly loved this woman and you were really into her and you really wanted to make this work, then kissing her should have felt like home. It should have felt familiar. It should have felt good. Not it was like kissing a stranger. The reason why I felt like you were kissing a stranger is because you no longer had feelings for her. Your feelings for her had completely changed. You didn't see her. You didn't see her as your wife. You didn't see her as the woman that you fell in love with. That's why I felt like you were kissing a stranger. So Chris, she missed Jamie's birthday while she was gone in Alabama because she said that her son got in trouble. That's why she had to stay in Alabama a little bit longer than expected. And so she completely missed Jamie's birthday. But now they're going to be celebrating, and they're going to be celebrating at this indoor pool. So I guess she had the whole entire pool reserved for Jamie's birthday. It was all decorated with birthday decorations. There was a cake and everything. Everything was all laid out to celebrate Jamie's birthday. So even though it appears that they were happy, splashing around in the pool, hugging and kissing, you can tell that things were different. You can tell that there was some type of underlying tension between the two of them. So they finally get a chance to have a conversation. And when Jamie brings up the financials, it goes completely left. So she tells Chris, you told me that you were going to take care of us financially. You told me you didn't want me to work. And then you stopped sending me enough money to pay for the rent. And so then Chris says, well, it's not my fault that you decided to get an apartment that was out of my budget. And so Chris said that, so that's what really starts the argument. So they begin arguing, and Jamie has a lot to get off her chest because y'all do remember that when Chris was still in Alabama, Jamie had met up with her two friends, those two guys, and they told her, girl, forget about her. She's not coming back. Just forget about her and move on. And she told her friends, I have a lot to get off my chest. I need to confront her face to face and let her know exactly what she did to me. So this was her opportunity. She was using this as that opportunity to say everything she needed to say to Chris about how she was feeling and what she went through during the time that that Chris was in Alabama. So as she's trying to pour her heart out and talk about how difficult life was without her, Chris is like, you're talking too loud. Lower your voice. Lower your voice. Lower your voice. And to me, I didn't think Jamie was that loud. I think she did start off loud, but then she did kind of bring it down. But Chris kept on telling her, we're not going to do this here. Lower your voice. And next thing you know, Chris got up and she left. She was out of there. And left Jamie crying. Didn't give a damn. Chris was gone. Chris was gone yet again. Moving on to Danielle and Johan. So Johan wants to meet with Talon to apologize to him for all of those really inappropriate questions that he asked him when Danielle, and Talon all met together. So they meet up, they play a little bit of basketball, and after that they sit down to have a conversation, and Johan begins the conversation by apologizing, for asking questions about his anatomy. And Talon was like, it's all good, don't worry about it. So then they talk about Danielle. And so Johan wants to get more information on Danielle's controlling ways. And Talon was like, yeah, she is very, very controlling. That's just how she is. And so Johan Johan is like, well, for this relationship to work, she's going to have to change. Of course, Danielle is not going to change. So then he meets up with Danielle, and they have a conversation, and they talk more about her and these damn friends of hers. And Danielle says, well, I have more friends coming into the Dominican Republic, and I plan on meeting up with them. And the one thing that we're not going to do is that we're not going to argue about it. If I want to meet up with my friends, I'm going to meet up with my friends. And that's just how it's going to go, and you're not going to stop me. So she wants him to apologize. And he tells her, well, if I'm going to apologize, then you're going to have to apologize. And she's like, for what? And he tells her, because you were talking about seeing your ex. You told me this news the day before my birthday. And you go on and on and on about how you wanted to see him and you didn't care how I felt about it. You didn't care what I thought about it. So you need to apologize to me as well. Well, neither one of them apologizes. They're both stubborn as hell, and neither one apologizes to the other. So Danielle says that she's not going to change. She is who she is. She's a grown woman. She's not a child. And he can't dictate to her how she's going to act. So she's not going to change. She is who she is, and he can take it or leave it. So Johan believes that she's making everyone a priority over him. The way she talks about how, she's going to spend time with her friends, whether he likes it or not. He's like, okay, you're making me feel like I'm not as important as your friends. And if your friends are so important to you, Danielle, go be with them. Go spend time with your friends. Go spend all the time in the world with your damn friends. And so it looks like this might be the beginning of the end between Danielle and Johan. Danielle, to me, in that scene, looked really frustrated. And she looked like she's just over Johan. She's over Johan. She's over the Dominican Republic. Things did not work out the way she thought they were going to work out. I don't know if she kind of saw Johan as a pushover. Because Johan, when we first met him, when I first saw Johan, I kind of got the impression that she's with this man because, like, he kind of came across in the very beginning like someone who's like her little lackey. Like, he follows her around everywhere, does whatever she wants him to do. And when he began to stand up for himself and to put his foot down, she got to see the real Johan, and she didn't like it. I think she had this expectation that she was going to be able to control this man and that he was just going to fall in line and do whatever the hell she wanted him to do. But Johan had a backbone, and he was not going to be played like that. And I think that's when she realized, okay, this is not what I thought that it was, and I don't like this, and so I'm over this. And she kept on calling him immature. Now, he did have some type of silly moments, especially when they all met up with Taylor and he was asking Taylor all those dumb questions, but he had an agenda. He wanted to embarrass Danielle and Taylor. And he had an agenda. He wasn't asking questions just to ask stupid questions. He had an agenda. So, but she keeps on calling him immature just because he doesn't listen to her and doesn't do what she wants him to do. And I don't think that he's necessarily immature. I don't think he's immature at all. I think that she just got really turned off when she realized, oh, okay, this big, huge giant of a black man, I can't control him. So, yeah, I'm out of here. That's what I think. And I don't know what they're saying about her on the internet. I don't know what the real update is in real time, in real life, like right now, if they're together or not. I have no idea. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're still together. I have no idea. But Johan, if you are any bit of a man, you need to let this woman go, because she's calling you immature, but then she wants to treat you like a damn child. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.